Hi guys, Jordan Foley, Jack and Strong video series, TotalFitnessSolutions.ca, taking care of some more questions that I got here. Got some questions from my buddy Haddon Murray that I used to play some rugby with, and Haddon, really liked the training aspect of it for sure and spent a lot of time in the gym. So sent 3 questions to me. All of them have a similar theme, so I'm going to hit them all at once. I'm going to hit the easiest one first, in my opinion. He said, how much rest do you need between major lifts? In my opinion, between major lifts, so a lift that where you're focusing on maximum strength or maximum power or speed, you should rest for anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes. I know that's super vague, but the guideline I like to give people is that you should rest for long enough so that you don't quite cool off, but long enough so that you know you're going to make the prescribed weights and prescribed weights reps for your next set. Okay, so as an example, if you're supposed to do 3 sets of 5 at 300 pounds on the squat, I want you to rest long enough after your first set so that you know you can get your next set of 5. I want you to rest long enough after your second set so that you know you can get your next set of 5. For most people, it's going to be in the 3 to 5 minute range for something like that. Once you get closer to your potential, your genetic potential, and the weights start getting heavier and way more challenging for you, and you're truly taxing yourself, that's probably going to get in the 5 to 8 minute range for your main lifts. Okay? For your other stuff, 1 to 2 minutes for your accessory stuff and your higher repetition work. Another one, working to failure, when and why, or why not, as compared to a 5x5 rip-toe type kind of program. I only really, for people that aren't competitive lifters, I say that because sometimes in strongman training we do heavy lifts on the main exercises, deadlifts, squats, presses, whatever, to failure, because that's what's required to get ready for a competition. For someone that's lifting for fun or for athletic success, I don't recommend going to failure on your main lifts, so your big multi-joint lifts, cleans, snatches, squats, deadlifts, your main types of rows, your main types of presses. I don't recommend going to failure on those. If you are going to train to failure for reasons of hypertrophy or muscular endurance, that's fine to do on smaller movements. So maybe your dumbbell presses, your curls, your dumbbell rows, any sort of machine work, any sort of single joint exercise. I think it's okay to train to failure every once in a while. And when I say that, I mean 1 to 2, maybe 3 sets in your training week you're going to go to failure. The reality of it is you're not going to get that much more out of training to failure than you would training your set of 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, whatever you're looking for your time under tension there, and whatever you're looking for a time span that you're working at. You're not going to get that much more out of it, but what will happen is you're going to cause a lot more muscular damage, and you're going to decrease your recovery time big time. The other side of it is mentally it's really tough to do. It's really tough to beat yourself into failure and know that in order for you to be done that set, you have to not be able to perform the exercise anymore. I'm trying to keep in mind the person that asked the question, and Haddon is kind of a weird dude like that, and he's probably someone that wants to have that objective for most sets, so he's a little bit different in that sense. But for other people that are a little bit more normal, I would say, they probably don't want that as a goal for every single workout. So for people like Haddon, I would say 1 to 3 sets in total per week. I wouldn't go much more than that because it's really going to stunt your recovery. Another thing he asked, appropriate volume ranges and time spent in the gym, which I understand changes depending on your goals. If you're an athlete, meaning that you have sport practice and you have other conditioning needs, I think your gym time should only be about 3 to 4 hours max per week. And what that is going to look like, if you really think about it, is 3 sessions that are total body in nature, maybe a different focus each time, but 3 sessions that are total body in nature that are going to take you an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's plenty when you consider that there's sprint work to be done, there's agility work to be done, there's conditioning work to be done, and you need to get good at your sport, and you need to play your games. For a lifter, someone that's competing in strength sports, weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, I would say the range then that would probably be the bottom end, 3 to 4 hours right up to 8 to 10 hours. And the reason for that is including your skill work. We don't have to worry about, being able to pass and catch a rugby ball. We don't have to worry about being able to dribble a soccer ball or shoot a basketball. We have to worry about being strong, being conditioned for the appropriate sport, whether it's powerlifting, weightlifting, or strongman, and we have to worry about the skill on those lifts, and those are actually taking place in the gym as opposed to on the field or court like it is for other athletes. As far as volume ranges go, what I like to recommend for athletes within the week and within the session is that your strength work for your main exercises, so your squats, your pushes, your pulls, you're looking at anywhere from between 10 to 25 total reps. Okay, so that's anywhere from 3 sets of 3, which would give you about 10, so 9, or 5 sets of 5 would give you 25 reps. So anywhere in between those ranges, 10 to 25, with the sweet spot being around 15 in my opinion. So for your bench presses, your squats, your deadlifts, even your heavy type rows, your volume for your rows might be a little bit heavier just by the nature of that. When you get into the low repetitions with the pulling exercises, it beats up on the joints a little bit more, and it's tougher to maintain the technique. And then for the other areas of your body, you're just looking at 2 to 3 sets for your accessory work. Not a ton. Enough to get into the gym. All you need to do is stimulate. You don't need to annihilate. Do enough to get better, but more isn't always better. And taking something from the medical community that was pointed out to me by Mike Boyle, who I think is a genius on a lot of this stuff, even though there's a lot of things that differ in the way he approaches things and the way that I approach things, is provide the minimal effective dose. And what that means is do the least amount of work in the gym to get the maximum benefit. And the reason for that is that gives you a lot more freedom and more recovery reserves so that you can recover from the other things that you're doing in your training. Okay, so if 2 sets of 5 is enough to get stronger every single workout, that doesn't mean that 3 or 4 or 5 sets is going to be that much better. Hope I answered some of your questions, Haddon. If you need some more clarification, hit me up on Facebook. Jordan Foley, Jacked and Strong video series, totalfitnesssolutions.ca.